Hello, let's talk about purchasing's profit leverage effect. As a supply chain manager, you need to speak the language of finance. Why? The answer is simple. Finance is the language of business. Finance managers hold your organization's purse strings. If you want to make a difference, sooner or later, you are going to need to convince a finance manager to invest in one of your projects. To increase your odds of success, you should invest in a little financial intelligence. Getting along with your firm's finance people is really quite easy if you speak their language. You simply need to know what motivates them. Whenever you ask for resources to support a major initiative, somebody from finance is going to ask, how is your project going to affect the bottom line? To answer this question, you need to know how the income statement works. A simple income statement looks something like this. Sales are equal to $100. Your cost of goods sold are $50. That leaves you a gross profit of $50. Your operating expenses are $30 and your operating income is $20. As a manager, you have three primary levers to improve the bottom line. You can grow the top line, that is, you can increase sales. You can reduce the cost of the products and services your company provides, that is, you can reduce COGS, or you can cut operating costs. Of course, you can do all three at once. With this basic background, let's focus on purchasing's profit leverage effect. One way you can help finance managers see the value of purchasing is to point out the fact that every dollar saved by purchasing goes straight to the bottom line. Let's look at some numbers. Consider the following simplified income statement. Your basic cost analysis shows that materials are 80% of COGS. So, our question is, how would an 8% reduction in the cost of purchases impact operating profit? Let's run the numbers. First, we need to figure out how much money is being spent on purchased goods and services. The current cost of purchases is equal to COGS, 42,428 times 0.8, or 33,942. If better purchasing practice, perhaps some combination of better supplier relationships, collaborative product development, and global sourcing, delivered an 8% reduction in cost of purchases, you would save $2,715. Let's see how that affects the bottom line. If we reduce the cost of purchases $2,715, our COGS decreases to $39,713, or 47.2% of sales. That's down from 50.4% of sales. Operating income goes up by the same amount to $17,504. As a result, our new profit margin is 20.8% of sales. In other words, an 8% reduction in the cost of purchased goods delivers an 18.4% increase in profits. That's pretty good leverage. For comparison purposes, let's take a look at what your colleagues over in marketing would need to do to achieve a comparable increase in profits. That is, how much more would marketing need to sell? Again, let's take a look at the numbers. We calculate this by dividing the desired increase in profit, $2,715, by the original profit margin of 17.6%. The result, marketing needs to sell an additional $15,454. That is the equivalent of increasing sales by 18.4%. So ask yourself, which is easier? Increase sales by 18.4% or decrease cost of purchased goods by 8%? For most companies, that large of a jump in sales represents a Herculean challenge, at least in the short run. By contrast, reducing the cost of purchased goods by 8% is often quite doable, especially for companies that have not historically managed purchasing as a strategic function. The critical point: every dollar saved by astute purchasing practice goes straight to the bottom line. By contrast, only 17.6 cents of every additional sales dollar makes it to the bottom line. The rest is consumed by the costs of doing business. Since purchased goods are often the single largest cost of doing business, purchasing can exert more leverage in the quest for higher profits than anyone else. The bottom line: outstanding purchasing practice matters. As a purchasing professional, you can make a real competitive difference.